Welcome to another The One Ring RPG video. I'm actually revisiting the Realms of the Three Rings. This is the latest book from The One Ring, in celebration of two new books that they're releasing, which is Hands of the White Wizard and Hobbit Tales. So those are currently on Kickstarter at the moment, I believe. So please check them out. And I'm just doing another deep dive, or a dive, take it as you will, of Realms of the Three Rings. I'd like to give special mention to the artist as well, because the art on this book is truly phenomenal. It stands out as something different. Just their attention to how they render their cloths, just the mood and setting that they are able to generate from their illustrations. It's phenomenal. All right, so there's a good chunk of lore and history in this supplement. A good 50 pages, give or take, which is pretty handy for anybody that enjoys Tolkien's work, which most likely you will be if you're playing the One Ring RPG. It does help summarize events that might happen across different books, if it's the Silmarillion or I'm not sure how far where they sourced all their history from. I don't know if it's just Silmarillion and Lord of the Rings, or if it comes from the history of Middle-earth books, but there's lots of history in here. And yeah, it's, I would say, a lighter read. It's sometimes almost like when somebody digests all the heavy information and then can re-explain it to you. I really appreciate that, and this book in itself, just for that, has great value. Let's see if I can grab one more image before jumping on to the next thing. But like I said, there's roughly 50 pages of history, lore in this book. You can see there I was talking about the cloth. Alright, so skimming over the lore, because there's a lot of content, and I like the fact that they touch on obviously the rings, which is a big part of this supplement. Then the next part is the Days Darken. So the best way I can describe the Days Darken is 4 broad campaign hooks. So they're not fully fleshed campaigns where you playing through the campaign and you can see which each NPC character is doing and stuff like that. They're giving you the broader outline of a larger campaign, 4 of them, and you can kind of play from that. They give you enemies to go up against, and I believe NPCs too. And they explain, basically the Darkened Days is explaining what Sauron is up to. And they give you a tale of years, I believe, as well for each one, so you know when it's taking place and what he's trying to achieve. And that's really great too. Let's just see, where does that go? It's page 53. So if you're playing through this, and that's remarkable. Sorry, I have to just stop for this art. It's just crazy good. If you can digest the information from a lot of their supplements and working into a campaign, yeah, you've got content for years. But yeah, the Darkened Days, if you're busy playing a campaign and you're in this region, it's worth just going over. I believe you'll glean some inspiration for what to include in your campaign. So you'll see here. So there's, you can see they give you some characters to face. I'll just get my skipping pages here with my thumb. There's some more characters to face. So this is just the first one. As I said, there's 4 of them. And then they'll give you a Tale of Hears over here, so you know when it takes place and what's happening. And then they'll move on to the next one. So there's 4 of those. Yeah, look at that, how the cloth just drapes. It's stunning, absolutely stunning work. It just stands out in this book. What do you call it? Drapery. Alright, I'll move on to the next segment. Alright, so the next segment is landmarks. They've got a lot of landmarks. So once again, this is such a handy tool just to have next to you as a GM or prepping or playing solo. It's like remarkable for solo actually, where you've got the history, you've got the tales of the years, you've got characters, you've got the lore, you've got the landmarks. So as you, especially with landmarks, as you enter a specific landmark, you've got the content there for you. It kind of feels like this book is taking on the role of GM when you're playing solo, if I can put it that way, where you just have to tap into this. My biggest challenge when I play solo is not to get lost in how long I spend on looking up things and figuring certain things out. Some players will enjoy that aspect of it. But I enjoy sort of progressing the story when I play solo. So I try not to get bogged down. So it's nice to read these supplements in, I would say, one sitting, or not one sitting, that's a big ask, but read them through if you can over a series of days, and then you have a mental snapshot of what's in the book. And that gives you a lot of context. And then if you want to go back and pull up some particular details, but it definitely helps to have a snapshot of what's in these books. So when you're playing solo, or if you a GM, you can then go back and like, all right, we're near this area, or you know, we would like a map of a particular spot or details of a location to visit. You're good to go. All right, I want to jump to the next segment. And I will just say, I believe these sort of the Days Darkened and landmarks and even the lore, these things should be making role-playing easier. Well, that's my view at least, where it can inversely bog and slow things down if you're kind of getting sucked into too much prep and you're being too... what's the word? You're trying to keep it. So I'm definitely want to keep it authentic. I wouldn't say you want to lose that aspect of it. But I highly encourage people to read these things and then reference back to them, but not to get bogged down. But that's just me personally. Whatever can streamline role playing for me and make it faster, the better. All right, so the next segment, they got it under appendix, but this is the High Elves and the Elves of Lorien. So the High Elves of Rivendell and the Elves of Lorien, and then how to use them, the Elf Lords in solo play, which I appreciate. So they keep giving us, in other role-playing games, they would call it a race and a class, but I believe this is just a race. So what page are we at there? 123. That's always fun. So if you've retired your character, or if you just want to start up a new one, they've got board games dedicated to rolling up a character. So clearly, creating a character and dreaming up who they are, man, this stuff's incredible. It literally stops you in your tracks. I tried to arrange an interview with Ivana, I believe. She's one of the artists in this book. Wasn't successful, but I did try. I wanted to find out how she got into art and who her inspirations were and how she landed the work with the One Ring. I could see she worked on the One Ring first edition as well. So here we go. Excuse me as I fumble here. There we go. Alright, so there's the appendix. And I also wanted to pick her brain on her process, on how she achieves that, the certain look. So as you can see, the style here is the style that I'm speaking for everyone, but myself, the style that I've come to associate with the One Ring. Trying to think of his name again. I followed him for a while. I don't know if he's on this book or if other people, if the team has tried to create a similar style so it's uniform. Let's have a look at his names here on the front. Excuse the camera work. I don't see his name. I can't. Oh, I'll have to go to one of the other books, but I lost my place. I'm fumbling here, holding the camera and the book. All right. Forgive me for not remembering his name, but there's a particular artist on the One Ring books what this reminds me of, and you can see that the other images I showed you are different, but they still complement each other quite well. But it definitely drew my eye to the fact that the art in this book feels different in a way, which suits the source material of the elves. It does feel like it's been rendered a bit like there's a higher level of, I wouldn't say higher level, there's a higher intention of rendering in this book. You can just see the way that the art's been rendered in this book. You don't see the hatch lines as much. It's just highly rendered, and they did do that in the other supplements. That's why it's so compatible. But you can see that they focused on this high level of rendering. But I digress. My mind's also trying to still think of who that artist was on the previous book that the previous supplements that this makes me think of. But it's kind of got that Karl Kopinski. He didn't work on the One Ring, but since I can't remember the other guy's name, I'll just say Karl Kopinski, where you can see the hatch lines and it looks effortless. It's detailed, but you can just see the creation marks on the page. So I like both. Anyways, here's the high elves, and there's their stats and stuff, and they explain how to use them in solo as well. And I believe I might have skipped that. Let me just get through here, because there was the high elves and then the elves of Lorien. There's the elf lords. Once again, that rendering on another level. And I'll see if I can find the elves of Lorien here. Yeah, it's bonkers what they did, how they've done the illustrations in this book. Absolutely bonkers. There's the elves of Lorien. All right. Anyways, thanks for taking another look, and I would definitely recommend you to have take a peek at the Kickstarter for The Hands of the White Wizard and Hobbit Tales. So, yep. Thanks for joining me for another video, and see you next time.